on our skin, restoring everything within. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all. Hand in hand, building castles out of sand, reaching for the grand. As willows align, we lose track of time. Head up high, now we climb. Oh, dreamy, breezy, we go. Easy, easy on our tiptoes, undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond all. A bigger scale the world inhales as we go. I wouldn't want it any other way, no. Dreamy, breezy, we go.
Good afternoon. Welcome all. Thanks very much for coming over and joining us. And as you saw there, some really, hang on, let me just get rid of this notification. Some really cool pieces. So thanks to each and every one of you who actually sent me some photographs to stick them in. Like I say, some nice variations of different types as well. So many different styles and shapes and colours and different woods. That's really nice. So like I said at the beginning, a massive thank you for you guys for sharing your photographs. The video of that will go live on my YouTube channel at 4 o'clock today, so the whole world can see them as well. So hopefully, if you can, share it so we get it out there. So hopefully next month we can get some more people in to take part in the next month's hashtag, which would be absolutely excellent. So welcome to our Sunday Lunchtime Live, myself and my lovely wife, Nick.
Hello.
In the background. So it's a glorious day outside, so I really do appreciate you guys coming over and enjoying this. Today I'm just going to turn a basic bowl. Bit of texture in the bottom, maybe a bit of embellishing wax, but just a basic bowl on a piece of yew I have on the lathe, or chucked on the bottom of the lathe. So nothing high tech today. Thought as it's a Sunday, nice casual turn, bit of chat, bit of banter, which no doubt's all going to be on my part because I'm no doubt I always get it. So we'll see what happens. So I'm going to go to the lathe. Nick will welcome you all in, and we'll make a start.
Just 2 seconds.
No, now they're waiting. The public's waiting. No, I'm joking.
So, good afternoon to Wood Wizardry by Colin, Dr. Bob, Michelle Owlsby,
Right, Michelle.
Dara. Sorry, that's just jumped again. Good afternoon to Dara, Pete from Twisted Trees,
Hi, Pete.
Matt's Woodshop.
Hi, Matt.
He's in South Carolina.
Oh.
Colin Izzard, Norman Greenwell. Brian at Heart Woodturning.
Just gonna check the focus on this camera.
Brian with a Y.
Brian with a Y.
Poor Chris
Brian.
Dodds. Michael McEwen. Susie the Swiss Turner. Barry's Wood Creations. Also, good afternoon to Royce the Boy, Terry Bartlett at Plymouth Woodturners. Amy's on as well. Hi, Amy. Ruby Clare,
Hi, Ruby.
Todd at Glen Cove Woodworks, John Mooney, Roger Kent. We also have Ivy Woodshed, Kids Repurposing. Hello to Terry, TJ Turner. Supposed to be enjoying your holiday, bud.
Yeah, you're supposed to be enjoying yourself, not sitting on there. Thanks for coming anyway.
It says on his phone can't chat much, so it cost you a fortune. The Wood Dude's on. Woodworm
Stephen.
Paul.
Paul.
Don't know if I said Woodturning by Barry, Brent Beecroft.
Brent.
And if I've missed anyone, just again, like I always say, just shout and I will give you a shout out. Oh, Doug Miller at Woodspun Around. Christine and Michael Heseltine.
Hello, Michael and Christine. Hope
They
you're
said
both
it's
well.
wet and windy in Sussex by the sea. Paul Finley, Woodturn at Home. Graham Brown. And I think that's it. Like I said, if you've had put a question in the chat or anything, can you please just put it in again? Because I haven't had a chance to go through it all. Spirit Wood, Stone and Bones on as well.
Hi, Heather.
So like I say, if I've missed anyone, just say, wait, you missed me, and I'll give you a shout out.
Missed me. Right, so we'll get this flattened off at the bottom, and we'll see what we got from there. There's a nasty, gnarly bit in the side of it. So I'm hoping, as you can see there, I'm hoping we can get rid of that as we turn our shape. If not, we'll end up with a hole in the side of it, which is not a problem. Just won't hold my cereal very well in the mornings. So I don't want to take I want to take the bare minimum off the bottom of this. I don't want to take no more than I have to, because it's only 2 inches thick anyway. So just a little bit more just to clean that bit up there. Are you reading the chat or are you ignoring it?
Susie's got a question.
No, she isn't.
Pardon?
She hasn't, if you read it.
Oh. Well, she's put it up, so can't help it. Douglas Mungham's on.
Hi, Douglas. All right, nearly there. Just a few more passes and I think we'll be where we can be.
Sid said if it holds a soup, it's a bowl. If it doesn't, it's art. I don't know if said Roy's the boys on.
Hi, Roy, how you doing, mate? So thanks to everybody who came over Friday night to for the special guest there with Terry in. Thought it was a very good evening. Lots of information for each and every one of you. It's nice to hear from the well, not the maker, but the person who sells the products. Right, so let's get some shape on this. Hopefully, we're now going to get rid of that horrible bit out the side of there.
Terry's laid on the sunbed. He said he's got to go.
See you later, Terry. Enjoy yourself, sir.
I can't remember what it was. No, I can't. That's it. Oh, door 60's on.
Our door.
Mark Gentleman Woodturner. Hi folks, poolside here, ice cold beer in hand.
Mark, how you doing? He's going to be stuffed tomorrow when he's got to come back to reality. All right, so let's have a look at that nasty bit. Where is it there? Might be able to get all that out. We'll see what happens. I'm just going to shape the bottom of this, hoping we're going to get that nasty bit out of there. At the moment, I'm using the 1/2 inch Simon Hope bowl gouge just to get that nasty bit out of there because it's a bit rough.
Mark just said he's not looking forward to coming home tomorrow. Back to reality.
All right, so we're getting there. Just going to sharpen that up because that's, oh no, that's all right. It's not blunt. Oh, actually, we'll just put an edge on that. That's really taking it out of that on the edge of that rough bit. Just quickly sharpen this up. All right, that should be a bit better. I've got a feeling this is a bit of you, but I'm not 100% sure. I'm sure anybody
It's
out
not
there.
me.
Oh, sugar lumps.
And Douglas said no carrots. Yeah, I will be shortly. I'm just trying to fill some paperwork in. Colin said you need a pro edge on your you need a camera on your pro edge, Steve. Ash at Kitey Sheds on.
Hi Ash, how you doing? It should be round now, hopefully. Well, within reason. So let's see if we can get some shape on this now.
So Temporary Terry's not doing a live tomorrow then?
No, I think Brian's doing a 2-parter.
What, with resin?
Yeah. So I'm just doing some shear cuts just to bring the shape of this. Oops, I didn't like that.
Colin said, sorry, missed your live Friday night.
It's all right, mate. Not a problem, you can't see them all.
Spirit Wind, Wood and Stone and Bone says she's going to put out her bobbin video this week after she makes some lace.
Nice.
Susie said, when's Brian going to turn resin Again, a huge resin mouse would be lovely.
Oh, Susie, don't, because he's only now getting sorted out from her last lot, love. Trying to give him a heart attack.
Brian put, yes, Brian is indeed doing 2 sessions tomorrow to cover the holidaying Hobbit again. Did you find me a memory stick or not?
No, not yet. I had a chance.
Hmm.
Didn't have. I forgot. I ain't got the
always
memory.
Forget. Always forget. Like leaving your wallet in your trousers and then it being washed.
It's called money laundering, love. That's what that is.
That's good job as plastic money, isn't it? You're lucky you got it back, because normally whatever gets washed is mine.
Well, I'll make sure I put a few bills in there then.
Oh, don't be silly, they get washed, won't they, you plum?
Oh, you said whatever's in the wash is yours. Right. I think we might have to keep a bit of that inclusion in there.
Ooh, what we got
But we might get it thin
Someone
enough.
needs to send me the blank Susie. Laughing. Chris said Brian could call that one Morris. Return Abrasive, so it's Brian Day tomorrow.
Who said that?
Barry.
All right, let's have a look at the shape of that. That's a bit of wood, that is. I like that.
Brian's put his link in for tomorrow by the looks of it.
So there's a bit of, what's that there? There's a bit of something there. I don't know what that is. But there's a hole in it. So we'll just get rid of that.
Dara said it looks like a piece of olive.
What is it? Don't even know where it come from, to be honest. I found it this morning when I was hunting under the bench. Do, 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 do. Right, let's have a look now, see if it's still in there. Don't know what that is in there. Might have to stay in there as a natural piece. Let's just see if we can get it out. I can get it out, I'd like to, but
Frederick Dayson.
like
He
Frederick.
said, I don't often comment here, but I must say I enjoyed the episode with Terry Smart. It had a good atmosphere and very informative.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. I'm glad you enjoyed.
Colin
And I hope it helped.
Colin said fill the cracks with milliput or resin.
There ain't no cracks. This is like a, don't know what it is, to be honest. It's like a piece missing. There. And whatever I do, it's staying exactly the same. So it's going to have to stay there. Because if not, I'm going to end up with no bowl left. Right, so let's just put something in the bottom. A mortise in the bottom. Blooming glasses. It's got so much static to them, all the dust just sticks to the lens of the glasses. I've tried tumble dryer wipes and they're no different. I have to get some anti-static spray, I reckon. Right, let's mark this up. Centre. So we're going to find our centre, make sure it's still in focus. Yep. So I'll find our centre there. Now the SC4 is a 50 mil, so I always put 52. So there, 26 mil. Parting tool, just to give me a ring. About 3 mil deep. Spindle gouge, just a
Benjamin's on.
Hi Ben, how you doing?
Said he went to the Weird and Wonderful Wood Show yesterday in Suffolk. Very good, but not much wood turning, which I found surprising.
Really?
Dara said, I enjoyed Friday's live as well. I also wish Terry would get Wood World of Texas to carry out more chestnut online. Mark said, Steve, use a tenon for a change.
No, blank's not big enough, mate. Tenons are overrated. Just causes too much work. A little tiny dovetail inside there. Knock that camera up. So a little tiny dovetail in there, just so the shot's got something to grab to. So what I'm going to do is just going to sand that, and then we're going to put a little bit of texture in the bottom of that. Swig my coffee before it gets cold. So make sure we've got extraction on. So we're going to sand this up to 120, no 240 even.
Grandpa Jim Woodturner's on.
Hi Grandpa Jim, how are you? I think that bit of abrasive is flat or blunt. Blunt? Do you call it blunt? Does sandpaper get blunt?
No.
Dull?
No.
That's better. So don't forget, next Friday, guys, Battle of the Makers is back. We are back. We missed last month because there was so much going on with Maker Central and my birthday, my daughter's birthday, so we decided to knock it on the head. But we are all back. Well, hopefully Terry will be back. He'll be off a holiday on time. If not, I'll be trying to do both jobs. So, but don't forget, come over and join us for the Battle of the Makers. Always a good laugh. Always a good bit of banter. Listen to me mispronounce stuff and make an idiot of myself as always.
Nothing new there.
So use your first grit to get all your marks out, and then all you're using the next grits for is to remove the marks from the grit before. So I think, I don't know if it's a tool mark or it's a mark in the wood. No, it's a mark in the wood. I'm trying to sand it out. It's the mark in the wood. Got a little bit of a mark in there, so we'll just run that over again. And keep stopping, make sure, just check it. There's no harm in stopping the lathe, just checking, make sure you're getting all your marks out. Because if you don't, that will show up when you put your final finish on. And remember, with the inertia sanders, you don't need to apply loads of pressure. You let the sander do all the job, all the work. Stop and check that. Still got a little bit in there. So just get the centre. Very quiet today, Nick.
Right, and sorry. Frederick said your extraction is very quiet.
It is. It's the CamVac. I've also got noise cancellation set on my headphones as well, so you don't hear a lot of anyway. But it is quite quiet because the noise part of it goes outside on a hose.
Colin, I have got carrots, but it's just I'm doing something else at the minute. The carrots are mainly for the rabbits. Wait for it. They eat better than us.
I don't like my carrots much anyway. They can have the carrots.
One of them's really not keen on vegetables, is it?
It's going to go hungry then, isn't it?
Mm.
Right, so you're going to work this up to 240 grit.
Where's my pen gone?
So that was, this is 180. You see what Roy's put?
Yeah. Yeah, they only get little bits. Casey has to give little bits.
That's perhaps what it is. They don't like the small bits. They want a whole carrot.
No, she gave him a whole carrot yesterday. They've been talking about the temperatures. That was quite warm here yesterday, weren't it?
Yeah.
Knocked you out, didn't it? Which is unusual. So
Yeah, first guy and hit me right on the head.
it's the Hannibal rabbit might have to get at a mast, Nikki. Don't know. I just don't seem to.
That's because they're getting loads of other food. Obviously, the other stuff tastes better.
Yeah, I'm with you, Colin. As long as it ain't raining.
Right, so
Todd's put on here that they had to turn the heater on the truck to get more coolant flow into the cool engine. That reminds me when we went out, didn't we? And it was really hot, and we had to have the heating on in the car to stop the car overheating.
yeah, because we went to a safari park.
Yeah. Bailey Woodworks is on.
Oh, baby.
I don't mind it hot, but it's got to be something so you can just sit and enjoy it, but you can get out in the sun if you want. And it was actually cooler in the house, weren't it, yesterday?
Yeah, it was.
Definitely. Even though our house is a bit of a sun trap.
I can't hack the heat like I used to.
No, getting old, babe.
I am used to heat. Never used to bother me years ago, but now I don't mind being in the shade, but I can't be in the sun.
I sat in the garden with my daughter, and yeah, it was really nice. She wanted to get a tan because she's lily white, but I don't think she did.
Right.
She'll stick with the fake tan.
So that's up to 240 grit.
Brian said you don't want to be living in Ireland if you don't want rain. Oh, so when we come visit, no shorts then. We don't need our shorts.
Ireland's not ready for shorts with us, babe.
Yet we don't know anyone there. That was the thing.
Oh, that's a good thing. Right.
I like that bit missing out of there. It looks nice.
Got a fluffy bit coming out of it. It's trying to protrude out. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sand and seal this, and then I'm going to put some texture in the bottom of that, just to give it a bit of character in the bottom, really, more than anything. So sand and sealer, cellulose sand and sealer, Chestnut Products, thinned 60-40, 60% sand and sealer, 40% cellulose thinners. So you give it a nice generous coat. I always like to give it a couple of coats. The reason being is I think the further it soaks in, I do believe the better the finish you get, because it seals the wood better. Put it in there, but that's going to splash out as soon as I spin it in it. All over my wall. Don't know what that soft, there must be a soft bit there where that chipped out, where it's come out. Whoops. So like I say, I've only done the mortise, perhaps 3 mil deep.
Brian said, bring shorts, it saves the bottom of your trousers getting wet in the puddles. Susie said the wood looks very lovely.
Thank you, Susie. Like I say, I don't even know where it come from. I found it under my bench this morning. I was having a, excuse me, root through, and I thought, oh, that looks quite nice. Be nice if we can get a bit of that through, so we get that crack through. That'd be
Douglas
nice.
said stone and wood, Steve.
Thank you.
Doug said they had a massive rain yesterday with some hail.
Wow. So we're just going to let that dry off, and we're going to give it another coat.
Matt's wood shop said looking nice.
Thank you, Matt. Give it another nice generous coat. Oops. Right, so let that dry a little bit.
Douglas said check the hole for insects.
I can hear them screaming, Douglas. Or do you mean that one there?
Brian said lots of preparation for this live then, Steve.
There was no preparation, Brian. I turned a project this morning ready for Wednesday, so there was no not much preparation for today's live.
He is terrible.
I didn't know what I was going to turn.
Wood.
Oh yeah, there is that. Right, so
When are you going to start using some of your new colours?
new colours. I don't know. I think I might do them as a video, to be honest.
Why?
Right, because I get some more chance to play with them, and if they mess up, then nobody will ever know.
Yeah, but that's the whole part of learning, isn't it?
Oh, it is that. I agree. I totally agree. Right, so Yorkshire Grit Original. Going to go around that because I don't want it in that hole. So nice generous coat of grit first. So I'm going to spin this up about 400 RPM just to work in the grit, and then we're gradually going to speed up. This should take us up to about 1,000 grit. Just going to speed up a little bit. Give it a bit of speed now. But just spend a bit of time using Yorkshire grit. You can't do it in a couple of minutes. You just need to spend a bit of time working it in and getting the full benefit out of it, really.
Just talking about the weather in different places.
Still quite mild out there today, even though we've had rain this morning.
Yeah, when I hung the washing out, and then that's what was only Steve's work gear.
Double wash, that's alright, it'll be soft. Can't get much softer than rainwater. Wouldn't scratch when I put my pants on now. Alright, so we're going to buff that off now. Just check it, make sure we've got it. It's a little bit in there, but we can blow that out afterwards. So what we want to do now, we need to remove all the excess grit that we don't want. So what we're doing is we're looking for that tissue to come off clean.
He don't have white stuff. Ivy said get some nice and white. Brian said I tend to use the air gun to remove the grit from holes. Inclusion works a treat.
Yeah, it does. So I'm going to do in a minute, Brian. Once we get it all off. So it's all clean. So we've now got all the grit off of it. So I'm going to put the product saver back on the top of it. So throw all the grit out of here. I'm going to compress this flat by the sounds of it. So they're going to come on, it's going to be noisy. Don't know, that was off. Just give that a couple of seconds to charge up. But as you can see now, we've got a nice finish on there, 1,000 up to about 1,000. So we'll blow that bit out there, then we'll get a finish over it. I might perhaps put microcrystalline over the top of that. So what I'm going to do is put a microcrystalline coat over the top of that, and then we'll do the texture in the bottom and put a little bit of embellishing wax in the texturing just to illuminate that a little bit. If I put the microcrystalline on afterwards, it will fill my texturing in, but I don't want to fill the texturing in with the microcrystalline wax. I want to fill the texturing with my gild cream or embellishing wax. Right, so let's get some wax on there.
Oh,
So like I say, get a screwdriver. So what I'm using is Hampshire Sheen microcrystalline wax. It's a clean bit of
Dr. Bob
tissue.
said that his Yorkshire grit turned soupy because of the temperature being in the mid-80s
Yeah,
Fahrenheit in my shop. Time to start bringing it indoors.
Put it in the fridge, mate. Mine does the same in here in the summer. Right, so microcrystalline. Don't need a massive amount.
You haven't put yours in the fridge.
Yeah, but don't get that bad. It gets thin, but not gloopy.
William Kenny's on. Good afternoon, all.
Hi, William. So making sure we get a nice. You don't want too much microcrystalline or any wax really. The more you put on, the worse it gets because you can never polish it up properly. You always get like smear marks in it. So a nice coat. Just gonna run that up. We're just gonna light application. You don't need to push heavy on it. Just light. You see that shine coming up. And if you want a deeper shine, you can put another coat on. I'm going to go for that. So now we're going to do a little bit of texture in the bottom of there. So I'm going to use the mini texturing tool, Robert Sorby mini texturing tool. Caitlin just come in.
Sorry, I'm looking at something. Must have done.
Yeah, Caitlin the cat. Hi, Caitlin.
Hello.
Hi, Caitlin. How you doing?
Oh, Copper Woodturning's on as well.
Hi, Rob.
Beautiful bowl, Steve.
Thank you. So, Robert Sorby mini texturing tool. Let's put on the lathe back. So we're just going to put a little bit in the back of this, just in there, just to give it a bit of character, really. So we're going to turn the lathe right down. We're just going to go from a center out, just like that. We're going to check it. So as you can see, just a little bit of spiral. Going to do it again, just a little bit harder, so we get a little bit deeper this time.
Amy's got a question.
Hang on a second. Go on then.
What is the difference between embellishing wax and gilt cream, please?
Good question. I'm not 100% sure, Amy, to be perfectly honest. I know Chestnut do the embellishing waxes. No, they don't. They do gilt creams. And Hampshire Sheen do embellishing waxes. But to be perfectly honest, I'm not 100% sure what the difference is. So I just want a little tiny ring on the outside of that. So I'm just going to put a little tiny ring on the outside, about there. Just give it a bit of definition, and a little tiny one in the middle there, like that. So just need to colour that now. Now I want that to stand out, so I think I'm going to put a little bit of black in there. But before I do that, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit of sand and sealer on that. Just that seals that texturing.
Gerard the French turner's on.
Oh, Gerard.
Wayne the wood turner's on.
Hi Wayne, how you doing?
No, I might be on the wrong chat. Wait a minute. What have I done? I'm on Friday evening. Oh, Steve. Stephen, help me.
Jeez.
What do I need to get press?
Well, you need to go back to today.
How? I don't know. I pressed the refresh button and.
Gee whiz, it's hard work, isn't it? Oh no, I've done that wrong. I haven't done that. Don't stand there crying. There you go. All right. Okay.
Yeah, marvellous.
So Wayne's not in.
No.
And Gerard's not in.
Because Gerard will be at work.
Right, so a little bit of sand and sealer on there. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to stick a little tiny bit of black embellishing wax
Todd's
over
got
some.
a question.
Go for it.
Do you sign the bottom? So the bowl that is, how does that work over wax?
I usually, I haven't got one in it. Oh yes, I have. Here it is. I normally do them on the laser engraver. After they've been waxed, they just burn through the wax. But I would imagine Brandon iron is the same. So, but you can always wax afterwards if you wanted to. Just don't put it on too thick because it will, obviously, you'll get that look white. So a little tiny bit of black embellishing wax.
Brian's put, she's broke it. I told him I didn't want to do it. Joking.
So just going to use this just to enhance that little bit of texture in the bottom there. I'm obviously not going to sign the bottom of that one now because I've got a little bit of texture on it. So we're just going to make sure we rub that in really, really well. And then we're just going to buff that off. And you do get a little bit of a sheen with the embellishing wax. But what you need to do, make sure you push the wax right into the texture, because if not, it won't look right. So now we're going to get another bit of tissue and just buff that off. So a bit of speed, so we generate a bit of heat. We're just going to bring off all that excess wax we don't need. It should just leave us a nice bit of texture in the bottom, like so. Just finishes the bottom, just makes the bottom look a little bit different. So that's as far as I'm going to go with the bottom of that. So now we
Brian's
can start.
Put shock face, embellish and wax run away.
Yeah, Brian don't like embellishing wax. Well, should I say embellishing wax don't like Brian?
So Benjamin's put, not sure about the difference, but the gilt cream's much softer, so you can be easier to apply. I think you'll get more of a shine for embellish and wax as it's much harder.
Yeah, I think you might be right, Ben, because the gilt cream is more pasty than a wax. So it's always good. But
We've got someone on Disaria, I don't know how you pronounce that, Hunter. Caitlin said that she's studying forensic science.
oh, that's what Casey's going to do next year.
Criminology.
Oh, that's the one, yeah. Same thing, isn't it? Right, let's get the front turned off him. So we're going to be a little bit careful when we actually hog this out. The reason being is because I've only got a 3mm tenon on the back and 3mm mortise on the back. So I'm not going to go too mad and cause it to jump off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some shear cuts to clean the front off, because as you can see the front's miles out of true. Let's go overhead. You can see it's miles off of true on the front. So we're going to go nice and slow to start with, get it nice and true. And then we're going to take a bit of time turning it out to get it nice inside. And if we can get a bit of this coming through the inside, that would be really, really nice. So I'm going to use a 1/2 inch bowl gouge just to flatten this out. So nice gentle cuts to start with. Ooh, she's a bit bumpy there.
That sound very good.
Once we get it flat, that'll be all right.
GTD Blair is on.
Hi Blair, how you doing? Speed up just a little tiny bit. Now we've got a bit more truer.
Heather said you could bring the towel stock up for support, Steve.
No, I think that'll be okay as long as I'm gentle with her. As long as I'm not too aggressive with her, I think. Keep doing that. I think I'll be okay. Sometimes the tail stock's in the blooming way when you're trying to. That's why I don't like doing it too much. Just give us a little bit of a grind so we get a nice sharp edge. Trouble is when you turn a round piece and it keeps bouncing, that dulls your piece, that dulls your tools quicker. So I think I'll be okay because I normally only do about a 3mm tenon. But once we get it round, I think we'll be all right. So put you on that camera. Be able to see better, won't you? I've done another setting for that camera called close up, and I think it might be a bit too close. Right. This should give us our flat.
Douglas said his daughter does FATAC forensics. Yeah, she wants to do well. She did last time we discussed it. Wants to do criminology. She may have changed her mind by then.
That is hard, isn't it? Try a smaller gouge. That's a bit big, that gouge. Where's that rattling? What's that rattling?
I don't know.
Like I say, nice steady cuts. That is a hard bit of wood. Need to sharpen this up again. This half was 3/8 bowl gouge. That is really hard. Oh, we've got something there. Whatever that was. Bug City. Shot my gouges more today than I have in the last week. Right, let's try again.
ETD Blair said that's a lovely piece of wood.
Hey, Blair.
Matt had a flying vase.
Oh no, Matt. Hope you're okay. Hope we didn't catch you.
Dara said check the chuck.
I will check it, but the rattle was coming from underneath. I think it might be a bit of wood on the under. I got loads of wood sitting on the bottom of the lathe to give it a bit of weight. I think it might be in a bit of that was rattling, not the.
Chris said it's a change in your pocket that Nikki has.
I don't actually get a lot of change.
No, I got it.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, that's about right.
Shane Hurst is on.
Right, Shane. That bit in there is really hard. Hmm. You see that's hard, how shiny it is. But like I said, I'd like to catch a bit of that side bit coming through. That'd be nice. So I'm just going to do another couple of passes. I'm going to check the depth. See if we can go a little bit deeper. I know you lot would love me to go through the bottom.
Brian's got a question. He said, do you prefer the Sorby bar rest to the standard rest supplied with most slaves?
Is that Brian from Hartwood or Brian with a
Brian
Y?
from Hartwood.
I do use my record power one. I do like the record power one, but I always find it's not quite long enough. Hence why I use the round one quite a lot, because it's just that little bit longer. But I find the record power one with the chamfer on the top there, it don't get. I always find with this one, it always gets a bit scabby on the top here, not through the metal, but through stuff sticking to it, like residue out of the wood and things like that. So I do prefer to use this. I just need to clean it every now and again. That's all.
There's another question. Wood Dude wants to know what sort of wood it is.
Well, I thought that might be a bit of you, but like someone said, it looks like a bit of ash actually. No, I mean not olive ash. No, I'm into it, or olive.
Douglas said, what does it smell of?
What's it smell of?
Wood.
It's got a appley. I don't know. That smells an appley smell to me. I'll let the missus know because she's got a nose like a greyhound. It's got an appley smell.
No.
No? What's it got a smell of, Nick?
I don't know. It's nice. Pick up my nose.
Right. So let's just check the depth before we get too carried away. So we're getting there. We're getting there. Let's have a look. Oh, we've got another quarter of an inch, I would imagine, in the bottom there. And we're actually now coming through to get a bit of that inclusion in there as well, which is pretty.
Susie said I would have said cherry wood. I have similar looking wood.
I don't know if that's a bit too big to be a bit of cherry. I didn't know cherry wood grows that big. Well, I suppose it
Dara
does.
said olive wood smells of hot butter. Not sure about that.
I didn't smell a butter. That does smell fruity. It's got a fruity smell to it, don't you think? It's a nice sharp gouge to do the last couple of cuts. Because we've got a hard bit there. And then we've got that soft bit there, whatever that is. That must be some sort of bug or worm or whatever in there. Because that's that like we had on the outside. But this is quite hard and that's bouncing on there when I turn it. So a nice sharp gouge. Hopefully to get these last couple of cuts. So we don't get too much bouncing or too much grief coming through there. Obviously when you turn here you want to be looking there so you can see your cut. Obviously follow your bowl round so you get a nice continuous thickness all the way through your bowl. So then open your gouge up as you're coming in, just to finish that little tiny bit off in the middle. I'm getting a little bit of a bounce there. The reason is because we're now starting to ride on the bevel as I'm coming through, because of the curve of the bowl. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do another cut, and then I'll perhaps finish off the last one with a standard grind. So hopefully we'll get rid of that transition line where it's bouncing on the bevel, because as you're coming in there, the heel of the gouge is bouncing as you push, as you're falling the, so you're lifting the toe of the gouge off the wood. So
Would do said cherry smells of cherry, apple smells like earth, ash smells like ash, and yes, Pete, never eat you. Pete said cherry gets big. I have a table in the lounge I made from cherry.
I can't hear you. Say again.
Pete said cherry gets big. I have a table in the lounge that I made from cherry and a 24-inch diameter cherry log waiting to be turned.
Oh, right.
Yep, I'm doing carrots, Douglas. Cutting some for the wabbits. Forget the ends. Some for the daughter. Some for Brayton to go in the salad in the week.
Right, So just going to check our depth, because I would imagine we're getting close. Yeah, we're getting close. Perhaps 5-6 mil. Right, so I'm going to put traditional grind on there. We're just going to finish that off from here somewhere, because we've got a little bit of a mark in there where obviously we're going on our transaction.
Transition, you mean?
Transitioning.
Amy said, "Are straight rests better than curved rests?"
Well, each to their own, really, isn't it? I have got a curve rest. I don't use it very often, though. Only time I really use it is I'm using if I do big bowls.
Cool. You've got a lot of these sweets. What can I have?
None of them.
What don't you like?
I like all of them.
Okay, I'll have one of each. Then.
Just think of your waistline. So as you can see, we've gone through there, so you can see the light through there, which is nice. So I'm not going to be too much braver. I'm going to finish off with a scraper. I know it's not the done thing to do, but that's what I'm going to do.
Said, "Can you see through the bottom?"
Not through the bottom yet, and I don't want to really, Douglas. Right, so I'm just going to finish off with a scraper. A couple of passes with a negative rate scraper just to clean it up a little bit. Not pushing too hard on the side because she's a bit flexible.
Brian, do you want to put your link in for tomorrow again?
Just that tool rest up a little bit. It's a little bit low. A little bit of a bounce there, but where we've got that bit broken out, it's bouncing off of that. So I think I might have to sand that. But I don't want to get too it's fairly equal all the way through. So I think we're going to sand that. We'll finish it off with a sander rather than risking breaking a chunk out of it with a gouge or anything. So I'll use the drill, whether that's gone. Is there a green drill in there?
This one.
So we'll start off with 80 grit, and then we'll clean it up with 80 grit, and then we'll give it that little.
Just so you know that the dog's been found. The other one.
Oh, okay. Good.
We're stuck in some brambles.
Oh, right. Good news then. So just check that. See if we've got that lump out of it. Nope, just there it is.
Copper Woodturn says, do you have a grind that puts wood back in the bottom?
That'd be nice, wouldn't it? That's better. Just a little bit more, I think.
Matt's wood shop said he wants to turn some yew now.
Yeah. Use a nice piece of wood. Use nice wood. I did a little vessel this morning.
Thanks, Brian. He's put his link in for tomorrow. He's doing a 2-parter as Temporary Terry's on holiday.
So this is a piece of yew I did this morning. Nice little bit. They'd done a demo on Wednesday night at the club, and the challenge this month was to do one of those. So I thought I'd have a go this morning.
Brian needs a badge.
Badge.
It says that he's...
What, I know how to put links in, badge?
No, Tay's always covering for Temporary Terry.
Oh, right. So just check that. Make sure we've got no humps and bumps in it. Just got a little tiny bit there. So let's just see if we can get that out. Might have been me where I sanded it in turn place too long. I feel better. That's much better. Right, so I'm just going to take this sharp edge off here because we don't want that real sharp edge on there. So then we're going to go up the grits. We're going to go up to 240 grit. And then we're going to Yorkshire grit it again.
Susie said, wow, lovely yew bowl. Copper Turn said, that's pretty.
Thank you very
Pete
much.
said, Steve can't put wood back on his lathe. He has no reverse. Caitlin, the cat's got a question. She said, on that small piece, how did you remove the chucking point?
What I did, Caitlin, was I cut a piece of this non-slip mat, this stuff, non-slip mat. I pushed that over my chuck. So it was like over the, hang on, let me get a chuck and show you. But obviously because it's only about 1.5 mil, 2 mil thick, you need to be really careful because obviously too much pressure is going to cause it to break. So what I did is, on the chuck, I put the tissue over, or the cloth over like that. And then I mount, oh God, keep dropping stuff today. Well, not just today, all the time. So then the piece was over the chuck like that. And then you just gently bring your tail stock up to your tenon. And then keep chipping at it with a spindle gouge until you're nearly all the way through. Then what I did is I took it off and then just cut through it and cleaned it up and sanded it all on the end. So that's how I got rid of the tenon on it. You mean, because it's the shape it is, you can't really hold it in the cold jaws. And that's the only way I could. You could make a jam chuck for it to just lock into there. Same thing, have a piece of that foamy mat to push onto it. You could do that if you wanted to, but I just thought that was the easiest way. Like I say, just don't push on it too hard because it's so thin. You can see how thin it is. If you put too much pressure, I'd just break.
Frederick said, may I ask why you took the centre out of the bowl first? If you turn from the outside first, it minimises vibration. I suppose it's just preference.
If that's a big bowl, I do. And as long as you're gentle, does it really make... I mean, a lot of people say that if you're gentle and you're not going mega thin, it doesn't make that much difference. So, I think everybody... I mean, if I'm doing a massive bowl, when I done that big sink, I did that. I took it down in layers. I did so far into the middle by about 3/4 of an inch down, then took the middle out, then moved down, kept going down and down and down until I turned down the depth I want. But for something this size, it doesn't really make a lot of difference. And if I was going so the wall was just a couple of mil thick, then yeah, I can appreciate that. But the wall on this is 10 mil thick. Just move that edge again. So what was that? That was 180, no, 120. So 180.
Caitlin said thank you.
You're more than welcome, Caitlin. Right, so that's 180. The last one, 240. So that's up to 240 grit. Let's just clean all the dust out of it.
Colin said that's gorgeous. Douglas said amazing grain. Amy said absolutely gorgeous piece.
Thank you. There's a nice bit of wood in it. Very nice. All right, so we're going to sand and seal that now. I've got to get a drink because my throat's dry. I know.
You live. Get on with it, 'cause I've got things to do.
The cheek. The cheek. Right. So, nice generous coat of sand and sealer. I like the idea that we've got that bit coming through there. That is really nice. Really nice. Then that's a bit of grit in there, or if that's a bit of bark in there. So,
How big do you reckon that run is you made the rabbit?
it's 2 meters long by 1500 mil wide.
23 square feet, you reckon?
I don't know.
Looks about the same size as this one.
How can you say that's
150 quid.
How can you say that as a picture? How can you say that's the same size?
Are you listening? 150 quid.
Well, I'll let you have it for 90. How's that?
Right,
Well,
how big is it?
2 meters long by 1500 mil long wide. So 1.5 by 2 meters.
Let's say how big it is. It just says 23 square feet.
Well, that's 3 square meters, isn't it? 1.5 by 2.
Oh, this one folds up though.
Well, mine folds up. You take the screws out of it.
I want to make stuff is on.
Good afternoon.
Doug Miller's got to go. He said looks great. I'll have to catch you later.
See you later, Doug. Thanks for coming over.
Radar Woodturner's on as well.
Hi, Radar. How are you? Thanks for coming over. So just going to let that dry. I think some of that in there, what you can see is wax that was actually in the piece before I got it, because that looks like wax to me. So I might just see if I can scrape that wax out of there with a pencil. Actually, I've got a little screwdriver here, that'll do. Just scrape some of that wax out of it. Because the actual piece was waxed on the ends.
Roy's the boy said he got some old calipers cheap from a boot sale today.
Got some what?
Calipers.
Oh, nice. What car do they fit, Roy? Right. So just give that another coat of sand and sealer. So let's have 2. And hopefully we get a nice shine on like we did the outside. Right, so let that dry. Get rid of that, put that away. I can find a lid for it. Oh no, where's the lid gone? Oh, there it is, right in front of my face. Oh, my legs ache today. Old age, mate. Right, so Yorkshire grit. Exactly the same principle as the outside. So Yorkshire grit. Make sure we get a nice coat of it on. This will give us a nice finish. Nice smooth finish to match the outside. So like the outside, we're going to take a little bit of time getting this right. Actually, don't think that rim is perfectly flat. It's got a little bit of a wobble to that. I think that might be where the bowls.
Wobble.
That might be where the bowls moved a little bit. A little bit of speed.
Barry's Wood Creation said, nice looking bowl, Steve. He's got to go.
See that, Barry?
Douglas said, Steve, a Land Rover short wheelbase. Stephen Gordon's on. Very nice job, Steve. That's not easy with the knots and bark inclusions.
No, there's a few hard bits in it, but we got there. Nice sharp gouge. Welcome anyway, Stephen. Is this your first time, Stephen, or have you been before?
Amy said, I know it's been explained before, but can't remember the reason. Why sand and sealer before Yorkshire grit?
With sand and sealer, you need to seal the wood first, Amy, because if you don't seal it, any waxes or liquids will soak straight into the grain. So if you sand and seal first, and what sand and sealer does, it seals the wood, which is the key thing for it, and also what it does, it raises any of the soft grain. So once that grain is raised or lifted a little bit with the sand and sealer in it, the Yorkshire grit will sand that back down nice and smooth. And the same if you're doing if you put any waxes or anything else on, you should always sand and seal first, because that'll seal the timber. And again, if you put a wax on a non-treated piece of wood, you'll take a lot of work to get it nice and shiny. Where if it's sand and sealed, you'll get a nice shine on it quite easily. So we're just going to speed up a little bit. Watching the background quite often. Oh, well, thank you very much for coming over, sir. And nice to see you in the chat.
Well, he said it looks like a swabbling.
Wobbling. Yeah, it is a little bit. It's got a little bit of wobble in it. I think the bowl's moved a little bit.
Amy said, brilliant, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, so clean bit of tissue. Just to finish that off. So as you can see now, the Yorkshire grit has given it a bit of a sheen already. But as we all know, Yorkshire grit is not a finish, it's an abrasive paste. So we need to put something over that to protect that from the elements.
Dun, 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 dun.
So what we're going to do is we're going to blow all that Yorkshire grit out of that hole. Just wipe all that off. I like that. That's a pretty bowl, that is. It's got to be at least a £2 bowl, that is. Right, so let's get some Hampshire Sheen microcrystalline wax on it. So again, don't need massive amount of wax, just a nice thin coat. You can always go back and put more on, and you're better off putting thin but many coats on rather than just trying to get one massive deep coat on it. Also going to do the outside again.
Susie said it's a very lovely bowl. Chris Dodd said love the inclusion.
Thank you.
Douglas said hit the thumbs up.
What, on my own? Video.
We weren't talking to you, was he?
Right, so again, just gentle. You don't need to push on it very hard. Just light passes. Just to buff up that wax. As you can see, it comes up with a nice shine straight away.
Copperhouse said gorgeous bowl, Steve.
Thank you.
Oh dear, it sat down.
So let's just give it another coat of wax, just to give it a nice deep shine. Just to finish that off. Going to give another light coat, just to protect it a little bit better. So final thing, put the wax on, put a little wax away, put the grit away. Fold my tissue, let's just buff this up. So you should be able to see the shine come on there. So that'll do. So we're just going to blow.
Said, Nikki, you sound cream crackered. That's because I did nothing yesterday.
Nothing today.
I have. I have changed the bed, cleaned the bathroom, hoovered upstairs, tidied your mess up in the hallway. I've cleaned the downstairs bathroom, cleaned the downstairs utility room. We've got to sort the kitchen and the living room.
So just wipe that wax off of that way. We're just blowing that out. And I think we are there. Look at that. Very nice. Let's have a look on the tailstock. I don't know if that's focused in, is it? No, that tailstock always changes focus. Always. Right, let's have a look at that. So there we go. That is pretty. That is a pretty bit of wood. You wouldn't think when I pulled that from underneath the bench that was going to come out like that. So let's get out and have a ganders of it. Very nice indeed. Right, let's go overhead cam. So there we go.
I want to make stuff said what wood was it? He thinks it was you and not
Well,
sure.
actually, I'm looking at it now. I don't think it is you because it's not got the two different colours of you in it. I don't think it is you. I think that's a piece of olive ash or something different. I'm not 100% sure what it is, to be perfectly honest.
Woodturning by Barry said not too shabby, Steve. Radar said looks awesome. The inclusion sets it off. Oh, excuse me. John Mooney said very nice. Colin Izzard, great looking bowl. Douglas Mangum, Steve, very impressive. Susie, beautiful shine. Roy's the boy said, what size is it?
What size?
While you're doing that, Graham Brown said, lovely bowl. Woodward by Colin said, love it. Shane Hurst, beautiful bowl. I want to make stuff, lovely bit of wood. Got quite a wide grain.
8.5 by 2 inches.
Real inches?
Yeah, real inches, not
You've
man
got a bowl
inches.
very similar that you've done to that. That actually, where the dark grain is on that, it actually went through, didn't it?
Yeah.
So it's got a little, very, very little tiny hole in it.
So that inclusion really sets it off because as you can see the light through the back of it.
The shavings are really nice as well, aren't they?
Well, you can have them if you want them. I'll bring them in the house for you. So I'm not 100% sure. I honestly thought it was a bit of you when I first picked up because it had like a pinky grain for it. But now I'm looking at it, I think it's more of a piece of olive ash or olive. I'm not 100% sure. Could be a bit of cherry because again the colours are very similar. But if you know, let me know because you know what I'm like with woods. Could be anything.
It has got a hole in it.
Yes, said that.
Oh, I say you got one like that in the house.
Well, my cereal's going to leak out of there.
Caitlin said love it. Brent said great looking piece.
Thank you very much. So anyway, 8.5 inches across by roughly 2 inches. Yeah, inches by 2 inches deep, and they are real inches, not man inches. Yeah, I really do like it. I'm really pleased that's come out. To be honest, a little bit of embellishment. That hasn't really come out black. It's come out more grey, which is a bit surprising. I don't know why. Perhaps it's not quite deep enough, but you can still see a bit of texture in it. That's all right. I don't know if you can just see that, can you? So a little bit of texture. It might have been where the wax has come through it. But yeah, that's what it is. That's what I can't make out what that is. Whether that's some sort of bug, and again we've got a bit on the inside there. So there's obviously been something nibbling at it. So because it's really soft, but that's nice. Still nice piece.
Dude says looks wonderful. Got to go eat now. Then it's back to Woodturner Photography Sunday. Roy said, is it pink pear?
Pink pear? I don't know. Roy, what are you asking me technical questions like that for? But anyway, yeah, thank you very much. Really enjoyed that. It's been nice. Turning something simple but effective. Turned out really nice. So again, thank you all for coming over. Yeah, Norfolk inches. Yeah, massive thank you for you all coming over. Always do appreciate it and always enjoy it, as always. And like I said, always said, if it weren't for you guys, then it'd be pointless doing it. So what I'm going to do is, at the end of this, I'm going to play the Lacebobbing montage again, just to show you guys the awesome work that people have done for the Lacebobbing week. The next one will be the first weekend of June, which will be the 5th. So make sure you come over and check that out. Again, we will have the Battle of the Makers on Friday night, and then we'll be back on Sunday again. So Brian's on tomorrow lunchtime at 1 o'clock, and also tomorrow night at 8 o'clock, doing a two-parter. So make sure you go and check that out. I think he's doing something with Bill, from what I saw on Facebook. So make sure you check that out. So thank you very much for coming and joining us while I've turned this. I really have enjoyed this, and I'm glad you enjoyed it as well. The live has been good as always, and I do appreciate it. So the Lacebobbing video will go live at 4 p.m. So make sure you check it out, and please share it, as there's loads of people need to see it to come over for the next hashtag week. So anyway, I'm going to go. Have a great weekend. What's left of it. Enjoy the weather while it's good. So it's a goodbye from me. It's a goodbye from... No, you're not.
No, you're not going to say it, no.
Goodbye from her.
Bye.
Right, guys, take care. Speak to you soon. And if I don't see you before, I will see you on Friday night for Battle of the Makers. Bye.
Bye.
folks.